morning, everyone. I am Dishaan Bansal from class 8th Alexandro. So, have you ever wondered that how world would be different without trees? What is the significance of trees in our lives, and what are the benefits of trees? Well, we are going to explore about all these questions now. We all have lungs, same as with our planet Earth. So, there is one specialized feature in these lungs that they are not only beneficial for planet Earth, they are beneficial for us also. So, let us learn about it. So, before starting off, here's wishing you a very happy Earth Day. So, Earth Day is such a special occasion. It is on our planet Earth. So, let us start this occasion by learning and exploring something new. So, yes, let's get started. So, first of all, why do we need trees? Lungs are so much crucial for us. Same as with our planet Earth. We cannot survive without lungs. So, lungs produce oxygen, they improve air quality, they reduce flooding, they help fight climate change, and many more. In this figure, you can see the trees being shelter to the birds. It is shelter to many other organisms also, thus it supports biodiversity. So next we are going to learn that how trees accomplish some of these very beneficial tasks. So first of all we have how trees help in the production of oxygen. You all could have learned about photosynthesis as a student. So let us recall. Photosynthesis is a process in which plants produce oxygen and food in the form of glucose by absorbing carbon dioxide and oxygen with the help of sunlight and chlorophyll. The key element is oxygen, which is a lot crucial for our lives. See, they are doing two benefits in the same process. One is they are absorbing carbon dioxide, and it is such a harmful gas that it results in the excess of greenhouse effect, and thus it supports global warming. And it produces oxygen, which is a lot crucial for our lives, and we cannot live without oxygen. Okay, so now next we have how trees play a role in the reduction of floods. They reduce flood by absorbing the rainwater. When there will be excess rain, the rainwater will seep into the ground and the roots of the trees will absorb the rainwater and thus it will increase the capacity of the soil to absorb more water and it slow down runoff. In this figure, you can see that the trees are acting as the natural barriers. They are slowing down runoff. When there will be excessive rain in this area, then it will slow down runoff with the help of these trees. It also prevents soil erosion. The roots of the trees hold the soil very firmly that it prevents it from being washed away with floods. So now next we have how trees help in the water cycle. So let us recall what is water cycle. Water cycle is a process in which water circulates between seas, oceans and atmosphere and land. So the first step in the water cycle is evaporation. Side by side evaporation there is one more process which is transpiration. Transpiration is a process in which trees get rid of excessive water. They release it uh, through stomata, which is present on the lower surface of leaves in the form of water vapor. When these water vapor will go up in the atmosphere, they will condense to form water droplets, and water droplets will combine together to form clouds. And there will be rainfall when the clouds will become very heavy. And it also helps in the evaporation reduction by giving the shade to the ground and keeping the ground cool. And thus it prevents the loss of moisture from the soil and the moisture is retained in the soil for a long time. And it also absorbs rainwater with the roots and hold it in the soil. And it balances groundwater levels and prevents soil erosion. And it also manages water resources. So now you have already seen in these slides that trees are acting as the natural barriers. Side by side, they are guiding the path of the river to any other water resources. It will mix with any other water body, which can be a river, sea, or lake. So now next we have filtration of water. So let us keep this aside. As a student, we have already learned that what is the filtration. Filtration of water is a process in which when there are fine particles in water, they are removed with the help of filter paper and the pure water will come downside. Same is here. The canopy is acting as the filter paper. So you know what is canopy? Let's explore. Canopy has dense leaves and dense branches which separate down the sediments from the water and thus purifying it. And they have specialized root systems which trap pollutants and sediments, and they also slow down the water runoff. They absorb airborne moisture. Airborne moisture is a moisture which is present in air, and they release water vapor through their leaves by the process of transpiration. So now you all could have wondered, I also wondered, that trees are so much beneficial for us. Then why do we cut them? So let us see. The main point is to clear land and to obtain many products. To clear land for agriculture, agriculture is a practice of growing crops on the land, and to clear land for various developmental projects such as roads, buildings, and infrastructure, to obtain timber and paper products. Did you know that the paper on which you write is obtained by the cutting of trees? Now you know it. To obtain fuel wood and firewood, fuel wood is an excellent fuel, and for the resource extraction such as mining, resources are commonly present under the ground. So we clear the forest, then start digging to obtain those resources. So now the question arises, what would happen if this is done on a large scale? We have explored a new term which is deforestation. Let us learn what is deforestation. The cutting of trees on a large scale is called deforestation. It is not a simple term, it is a very massive problem for humanity. It has various impacts such as climate change. There will be no one to absorb carbon dioxide, which will result in the excess greenhouse effect and thus cause global warming. Soil erosion. There will be no one to hold the soil firmly, and thus the soil will be washed away with floods. Biodiversity loss. The shelters to the birds will be lost. Water pollution. There will be no one to filter water. Disruption of water cycle. There will be no evaporation reduction, and there will be no transpiration. Desertification. If evaporation reduction will not be there, then the moisture will be lost from the soil and it will turn into the desert, and this process is known as desertification. Restrict access to clean water sources. You have learned that the trees were guiding the path through the river to the various water resources. If the trees would not be there, then the guidance of the water resources to other water resources would be lost. Reduced agriculture productivity. When the moisture would be lost from the soil, they would grow crops. Flooding. There were no any natural barriers, and thus obviously flooding would occur, and many more. See, there are so much impacts of it, then we have to recover those impacts obviously. So the trees which we have cut in the previous slides, obviously we have to recover them. We have to give them back to the nature. So there are two processes, afforestation and reforestation, and we can proudly say that these are the key medicines to this threat. There is a little bit difference between afforestation and reforestation. Let us learn. The plantation of trees on a large scale in an area which was previously not occupied by the forest is known as afforestation, whereas reforestation occurs on the area which was firstly occupied by trees and the forest was firstly destroyed by various human activities. So now those products which we obtain from trees are so much important. Where would we write if we do not obtain paper? What could be used instead of fuel wood? Then here's the answer. How can we conserve forests? Forest resources should be used economically and rationally, which means that they should be used in limit. And the alternative fuel wood is biogas. Biogas is an excellent alternative of fuel wood, which is obtained in the biogas plant, which is obtained from the animal waste. And the felling of trees should be a punishable activity. There should be a penalty of cutting the trees. And you know, the lakhs of trees are cut for paper every day. So, therefore, paper must be recycled to save trees. Acts should be launched to conserve forest. For example, Forest Conservation Act was launched by the Government of India in 1972. So next, I would like to discuss about the Green Wall of India to demonstrate one more benefit of trees and for the extra knowledge. So Green Wall of India is specifically known as the Aravali Green Wall project. Aravali is a range present in India which was started by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi, an ambitious initiative to create a 1400 kilometer long and 5 kilometer long belt. So what is the aim of it? You all must have heard about the Thar Desert. Yes, it is present in Rajasthan. So there is a range called Aravalli Range, which is limiting that desert and it is avoiding to spread it. So, due to the excessive resource extraction and mining, there is much space between the mountains and rocks of the Aravalli Range, and thus the Thar Desert is spreading. If we ignore this, then our North India, our Punjab would turn into a forest, and there would be land degradation and desertification. So, to avoid this, this project is launched, and also to fight down climate change and to produce oxygen. Okay, so you all have learned that how trees are so much beneficial for us. If you plant them, they will give you each and every happiness you want. They will give you everything. So I would plant a tree. Will you? Thank you.